you keep at what you're doing, you will definitely get there. This is where we draw the curtain on this week's episode of Nigerian Movies Today. We do hope you've had fun with us. And of course, remember that for your comments, suggestions, and what have you that you want to see on the program, you can always reach out to us on our Instagram handle at Nigerian Movies Today. Let's do this again, same time next week on the network service of the NTA. I am Ololade Ademijadele, and as I always say, let's keep telling true, authentic Nigerian and African stories. Bye for now.
The Nigerian economy is in deep trouble and will require careful management to bring it around and to tackle.
There is only one station that others look up to. A station where professionalism and class come to play. So in whatever we do, be it news, sports, politics, information and culture, even in entertainment, tourism, education, documentaries and kids programming, we set the standard others want to beat. And CH10, no one does it better. CH10 Station for Excellence.
On the news tonight, Muslim faithful call for peaceful coexistence as Eid al-Fitr is marked. Plus, latest in the world of sports and entertainment. Good evening and welcome to the news at 7 on NTA Lagos Channel 10. I am S.C. Omaka, and a happy Eid al-Fitr celebration to all our Muslim brothers and sisters. We begin with where Muslims across Nigeria, like their counterparts across the world this Friday, trips to the various places of worship to observe the congregational Eid al-Fitr prayers, marking the end of the month-long Ramadan fast. President Muhammadu Buhari, who was among the worshippers at the Mambile Barracks Eid ground in Abuja, reassured the nation that nothing will stop the May 29 handover date to the next administration. State House correspondent Adamu Sambu reports.
The month-long journey of faith, characterized by sacrifice, obedience, intense worship, acts of charity, and other good deeds in the sight of Allah, has come to an end. For President Muhammadu Buhari and other spiritually uplifted Muslim faithful, this is a moment of thanksgiving to the Creator.
Allahu Akbar.
With utmost concentration, humility, and sincerity of purpose, everyone here appreciates Allah for His guidance, protection, and mercies during the blessed month. In a khutbah shortly after leading the prayers, the presiding Imam, Captain Salisu Musa, harped on the need for the Ummah to fear Allah, ensure genuine repentance from sin, love for one another, forgiveness, and tolerance.
We should fear Allah as individuals and do what we are expected to do. Never you become good in Ramadan, dangerous outside Ramadan.
He emphasized the need for constant prayers to Allah as the greatest weapon against the adversities of life. The Imam also admonished the congregation to ensure that lessons learned during the holy month of Ramadan are never discarded, especially maintaining the competition in good deeds for humanity so that eternal peace and salvation can be achieved. Special prayers were offered for national unity, stability, prosperity, and smooth transition to the next administration.
Effort is being put to transform this country, while some of us sabotage the effort. We should pray that may God guide them. May God cast His fear in their minds so that they should love this country, so that they should do the right thing, so that they should stop doing what is not expected of them.
President Muhammadu Buhari, who spoke to NTA News shortly after, described himself as a highly fulfilled person.
I thank God, and as I said, I'm looking forward to returning to my town as far away as possible from Abuja, so that the incoming government will have the time and the space, to take decisions without necessarily having any input from me. I have my 8 years, and I think I have enough.
So what is your message to Nigerians as we prepare to hand over to the next government?
Well, Nigerians should appreciate lost the election to the Senate, which means the ordinary Nigerians are appreciating the system, and this is good for the country.
So talking about democracy, people are worried about the reported plans by some anti-democratic forces to scuttle the transition program. What can you assure the nation?
Well, what I have just said now, explains it. Nigerians have appreciated the system and they are going to defend it. And the best way they defend it is by voting. They are voting people they think they will serve them.
So nothing will stop the handover?
No, God willing, nothing will stop it.
This is the last time President Muhammadu Buhari will be observing Eid al-Fitr as head of state. Adamu Sambu, NTA News.
We do apologize for the break in transmission. Moving on, Nigerians must eschew religious sentiments, put the outcome of the recently concluded elections behind, and collectively work for national unity and development. Deputy Governor Obafemi Hamzat stated this after joining Muslim faithful to observe the Eid al-Fitr prayers in Lagos. Musa Toilet has details.
The mandatory Eid al-Fitr prayers attracted Muslim faithful across the state to the prayer ground in Dadan Barracks. Lagos State Deputy Governor Obafemi Hamzat stood to be counted among the faithful who came to show gratitude to Allah for completing the obligatory fast in the month of Ramadan.
Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar.
The Chief Imam of Lagos, Sheikh Sulaiman Abu Nola, after leading the 2-raka prayer, charged newly elected political office holders to see their election as an opportunity to serve and better the lots of Nigerians. Deputy Governor Kadumi Obafemi Hamzat advised Nigerians to promote religious tolerance, imbibe the teachings of Islam on peaceful coexistence, and shun acts capable of dividing the country along ethnic and religious lines.
Let the leaders who are responsible for various things, let them do their part. Let the doctor take care of their patients. Let the teacher take care of their students. Let parents take care of their children. So we all have our responsibility. We should all do it. So if we do that, our country will be great.
Let every one of us be honest. Even from the grassroots, we can try and elevate everything. Let us all be honest. Enough.
Eid al-Fitr prayers are observed after an obligatory fasting exercise in the month of Ramadan, which is the 4th pillar of Islam. In Lagos, Musa Toliad, NTA News.
Similarly, Muslim faithful have been urged to remain steadfast in their service to Allah and mankind. This charge was given as they observed Eid al-Fitr prayers after 30 days of Ramadan at NTA Lagos Channel 10 praying ground. Tejo Show. That was the Eid prayer, which marks the end of the 30 days of Ramadan fasting. Muslim faithful say observing Ramadan is very significant to Muslims across the world as one of the 5 pillars of Islam, which teaches abstinence from worldly pleasures, steadfastness in prayers, and total submission to the will of Allah in accordance with the Quranic injunctions.
Hear that religion, if it is practiced well, you are okay. You will just see everything, will come normal. Before Ramadan, I'm having sugar. I have drug. I said, during Ramadan, I place my sugar aside and my drugs aside. That Ramadan will cure me. Billah alaikum. Yesterday when I took my measurement, I have 99. Which I have. So that's the religion of Islam is everything to Muslim. It's your drug, it's your food, it's your bed, it's your book, everything.
We should keep on doing all the good things we've done during this month of Ramadan. As Ramadan is going, it shouldn't be the end of our good deeds. We should carry on with them, inshallah.
While stressing the need for a peaceful society, Muslims, as well as followers of other religions in the country, were advised to continue to offer prayers for continued peace and stability in Nigeria.
Well, Eid is a blessing from Allah after the month of Ramadan. The blessings of Ramadan will not be complete without the Eid. So after fasting for 29 or 30 days, the completion of it is to come to Eid and observe Salatul Eid. So Alhamdulillah, I feel happy. I feel grateful to Allah for sparing us this time and this day to experience this. Alhamdulillah.
For the Muslims, Eid celebration is very unique. It is a feast to mark the end of a month of long spiritual renewal after 30 days of fasting. President-elect Bola Tinubu has sent a message of felicitations wishing all Muslims in Nigeria and beyond a happy Salah celebration. In a statement he personally issued, the president-elect, who thanked Allah for the grace to witness this year's Eid al-Fitr celebration after the holy month of Ramadan, recognizes that for Muslims in the country and all over the world, Ramadan fast is a sacred spiritual obligatory as one of the 5 pillars of Islam. He said, with the help of Almighty Allah, the Muslims have gone through a period of abstinence, self-discipline, self-reflection, self-purification in gratitude, supplications, and total submission to the will of Allah. Tinubu said the lessons entail love for one another, love for fellow humans regardless of creed, region, and ethnicity, love for one's community, and love for country. He added that to love one another, have compassion, empathy, and love the country means Nigerians must become better citizens in line with the teachings of Prophet Muhammad. Nigerians generally must constantly seek to become a better version of themselves in patriotism, dedication to duty, and honesty. The president-elect, however, reiterated his readiness to work with all Nigerians, young and old, male and female, with this opportunity to serve Nigerians in honor and dignity. Still on the Eid al-Fitr celebration, President of the Senate Ahmed Lawan has congratulated Muslims in Nigeria on the occasion of this year Eid al-Fitr, which signifies the glorious end of the holy month of Ramadan. In his solemn message, Senator Lawal urged Muslims to have faith that Allah has accepted their prayers and supplications made before and during this period. He urged them not to cease praying for wisdom for Nigeria's leaders and security, prosperity, and peaceful transition for the country. Senator Lawan noted that as elected representative in Parliament, they will continue to provide legislative interventions to enhance the efforts of the executive arm of government towards making Nigeria a better place. You're still watching the news at 7 on NT Lagos Channel 10. More to come after this time out to join us again. It's morning time. It's no reason to the last drop till it rains
Malt tonic is enriched with vitamins and minerals for that rush of vitality you need to reach greatness.
It's small tonic time.
Welcome back. Moving on, the Speaker of the House of Representatives, Femi Gbajabiamila, has rejoiced with Muslims across the country on the occasion of this year's Eid al-Fitr, marking the end of this year's Ramadan. Gbajabiamila also congratulated the Muslim faithful for the successful completion of the 1444/23 Ramadan, in which he said lessons must have been learned. Reflecting on the significance of the just concluded Ramadan fasting, the speaker said Muslims should internalize the lessons and good habits that usually come with a religious practice. He called on Muslims across the country to use the occasion of Eid al-Fitr to pray for the country, noting that periods like this call for sober reflection and unity from all citizens, irrespective of their religious beliefs. The speaker said Nigeria is the only country we can call ours. Hence, the citizens, especially Muslims at this time, must work together and pray assiduously for continuous peaceful coexistence among the people, adding that one of the lessons learned during the holy month of Ramadan was compassion and care for the needy, urging Muslims to continue to be their brothers' keepers as enjoined by the Almighty Allah through the Prophet Muhammad. Many Muslims across the world mark the end of Ramadan, a month of fasting and spiritual reflection, to celebrate the joyous festival Eid al-Fitr. Omolola Ebenezer in this report examines the significance of the celebration.
Eid al-Fitr is one of the most widely celebrated Islamic festivals, which marks the end of the holy month of Ramadan. On this day, Muslims show their gratitude towards Allah for offering them help and endurance to get through the long fasting period of Ramadan. When people get together, break their fast and feast together. However, some residents of Lagos say Eid al-Fitr holds some significant historical and cultural importance for Muslims. Let's hear what they have to say.
Allah has ordained all Muslims. The greatest days of Ramadan would not be complete without it.
All of us, we've learned different lessons during the month of Ramadan. I advise us to use it, to put it into practical, so we remain pious.
With emphasis laid on Eid al-Fitr celebration, it's also a reminder to be kind to those who are less fortunate. The day reminds Muslims to embrace people from social and economic circles and share the joy of festivities with the underprivileged.
The issue of Ramadan, its significance is well known to everybody. That is why you can see the people that participated in it.
I want to greet every Nigerian and I wish everyone Eid Mubarak. I pray that God will let us see many more years together.
It's my prayer, it's our prayer. And I know the only thing can survive this country, apart from agriculture, is industrialists.
They all agree that Ramadan has come and gone, but the only teaching in the month of Ramadan should be strictly adhered to. In Lagos, Omola Ebenisa, NTA News.
Nigeria has many ethnic groups with various cultures and religious affiliations. Despite its heterogeneous nature and differences, Nigerians are still able to weather the storm and coexist as a people. Adiola Komiakere examines factors that unite rather than divide citizens.
The ability to accommodate one another in spite of differences in opinion, belief, knowledge, and language is an indispensable factor for meaningful progress and development of any nation. This, in simple terms, is referred to as tolerance. To a keen observer of daily events in Nigeria, religious tolerance is more than a topical issue because of its relevance to the survival of a nation.
Don't look, maybe this is Christian, this is Muslim. We are one, and we are the same human being.
The Nigerian situation is peculiar and often regarded as unpredicted, as divergent views, for instance, can escalate, causing tension, with some ascribing religious and ethnic undertones to them. In spite of the challenges, however, there are many positive factors that promote peaceful coexistence.
The intermarriage is there. Now, how do we now destroy, a relationship that is beyond human making? So we have to learn to live together with one another.
One question that analysts have asked time and time again is, does religion define a people or their lack of acceptance of who they really are?
We shouldn't allow whom we serve to be the dividing thing. Then we must be bound together as a family.
We are all building a nation together. We cannot all be one, like the same religion, but we can be one in terms of development, in terms of positivity. We can be one in terms of allowing peace to thrive.
United we stand and divided we fall is a common cliche used to promote unity in the Nigerian project. Many believe that there can be meaningful progress and development if religious tolerance and actions that can promote violence are tackled. They also say the citizenry can uphold their trust for one another and see themselves as one rather than different people. Adeola Komiakere, NTA News.
Away from Eid al-Fitr celebration, let's now take a peek into the entertainment world with Omolola Ebenezer.
Nigerian artist Oludipe Oluwasomi David, also known as Pyro, has gotten 2 new luxurious homes. Pyro proudly shared on Instagram that he has acquired a new home. The talented singer, who recently collaborated with Tiwa Savage on the East remix of Who Is Your Guy, bought not 1 but 2 units in a swanky new house. One for himself and the other one for his business partner. He says, "From zero to owning a property, I count my blessings big time. I didn't just buy it for myself. I bought the opposite units for my business partner too. God has been good and kind to me," he says. Meanwhile, Nigerian music producer Michael Collins, popularly known as Don Jazzy, has bestowed a generous gift upon a struggling student who reached out to him about their school struggles. The student had sent a message to the boss of Maven Records expressing how difficult school had become. The unidentified students had conveyed that they were currently at their breaking point and need a big hug from Don Jazzy. In response, Don Jazzy expressed his sympathy and commiserated with the students. He then asked if a sum of 500,000 would be sufficient as a hug from him. He further instructed the students to send their bank account details to him if they found the amount acceptable. And finally, on entertainment news, Ghanaian rap artist Obrafo has claimed a $10 million lawsuit on multiple award-winning Canadian singer Drake over alleged copyright infringement. According to the rapper in a lawsuit filed in the U.S. District Court for the Southern District of New York, Drake sampled the remix of Obrafo's 2003 song Oye Oene in Calling My Name without his consent. The details of the suit indicated that Drake had emailed Obrafo seeking permission to sample the song but received no response. However, the suit added that Drake went ahead to use the sample in the song which was included in his latest album, Honestly Nevermind. And that will be all on entertainment news. I am Omolola Ebenezer.
And sports update is next with Keith George.
We begin with football. Nigeria's under-20 men's football team, the Flying Eagles, have been placed in Port 3 ahead of the FIFA Under-20 World Cup draws. The World Football Governing Body has released procedures for the draws. The Flying Eagles of Nigeria will be in Port 3 alongside Uzbekistan, Japan, Honduras, Iraq, and Fiji. One team from each port will be drawn into each of the 6 groups. FIFA's principle is to ensure that no group has more than one team from the same confederation. The draws will be held in Zurich, Switzerland, Friday. Argentina are the host of the FIFA Under-20 World Cup. The Godswill Akpabio Stadium in New York will host the potentially explosive Federations Cup round of 64 battle between CAF Confederations Cup quarter-finalists Rivers United and two-time CAF Champions League winners Eyimba Football Club on Wednesday, 26 April. The game comes up on the eve of Rivers United departure to Dar es Salaam for the second leg of the CAF Confederations Cup quarter-final fixture, which first leg holds at the same Godswill Akpabio Stadium Uyo on Sunday. In women's football, the United States of America and Mexico have thrown in their hats into the ring with a joint bid for the 2027 Women's World Cup. They will rival bids from Brazil and South Africa, as well as the European combination of Belgium, Netherlands, and Germany. U.S. Soccer and the Federación Mexicana de Fútbol announced their bidding plans to land the flagship tournament of the women's game in 2027. Bid agreements will be due by May 19 and official bids by December 8. United States Soccer President Cindy Palacon says the country has been a global leader for the women's game and will be honored to co-host the world's premier event for women's soccer along with Mexico. FIFA will award the hosting rights for the 2027 tournament at its Congress in 2024. With sports updates, Gifts George, NTA News.
A quick look at the weather forecast across Lagos Metropolis. And that wraps up the news at 7 on NTA Lagos Channel 10. Many thanks for your time. I am S.A. Owomaka. Good evening.
Community, thank you for coming.
You're welcome. It's a pleasure.
Nigeria is Africa's most populous nation, with cultural and media influence throughout the entire continent. But it's facing a conservation crisis. Its wildlife and national parks are highly endangered by poaching and illegal logging. It's the epicenter of the illegal trade in ivory and pangolin scales, with tons of products representing thousands of animals seized in recent times by customs. It has strong demand for illegal bushmeat that endangers animals and risks introduction of zoonotic disease. But Nigeria could be a conservation leader. With Lagos leading the way, Nigeria is updating its wildlife legislation. It's improving its wildlife law enforcement, and it's revolutionizing its public awareness. WildAid and its Nigerian partners are launching the largest ever conservation awareness program in Africa to drastically increase coverage of wildlife issues. Working with government agencies, working with the media, working with prominent Nigerian ambassadors.
Report suspicious activity and wildlife crime.
To promote Nigeria's national parks. To promote wildlife law enforcement. To raise awareness of the dangers of illegal bushmeat. And to promote alternative